So the day we wrote the song, it was my first day in Nashville. I was down there for like a week. I'd written with Chris Yearchuk before, but I'd never met Drew Smith or never written with him before. I'd heard a lot of great things. But we started writing the song, and we're going, and then I kind of pitched in an idea, and Drew looked at me so serious, so straight, and he's just like, "You haven't earned your right to speak in this right yet."
Messing with Devin was good. That was a lot of fun. Writing with Devin for his project is awesome. He's a great artist, great writer, and he's going to do some really great things.
I know Devin's style, and I know that he's a rocker, in addition to the country and the blues and all that stuff. So definitely wanted the song to have some drive. So, Devin was really integral in kind of keeping that there.
If I'd have known the last time was the last time, I'd have made the last time last.
It's kind of a weird title because you're like, last time last. It's like it doesn't make sense. You don't understand it until you get to the hook of the song. I pitched the idea of last time last, and they both kind of looked at me and were like, "What?"
Some titles you have to spend some time on. You got to kind of poke around and try to figure out how to make the song interesting. And then some titles just kind of give you the song, and Last Time Last was very much like that. As soon as Devin said it,
I love it when somebody throws out a great title on a right, like Devin did. It gives you a landing point. You can look at every idea that you have that you come up with in the session of, is this leading us there?
It was about a relationship and how I wish that I'd kind of held on a little bit longer and hadn't let it end, or if, like, I would have savored the moments that we had in the relationship instead of just letting it end.
I think there's lots of different ways we could have gone with that title, but you can just have a real emotional connection with this song if you're talking about a relationship. The little intimate moments between a couple, the late night talks, the drives, things like that, that you really take for granted until somebody's gone.
We decided to keep it just about a relationship in the verses, but then the choruses don't really speak to that. They kind of are a little more vague, and it could be about anything.
I'd have danced a whole lot longer, would have kissed you so much slower. Hell, I'd be begging you to drag it out, even when you said it's over.
Loved the song when I first heard it, and the bridge, especially that when it flips in the bridge, that line, it just right to the heart.
Everything we did was just a springboard for trying to hit home the depth of the message of that song. It needed to be high impact because that's really a high impact thought.
I think the title really took me to longing and angst, and I really wanted to make the song feel like regret. If you've ever felt regret like that, or just wishing you could have changed things or cherished that last moment, really making that emotion come through. So,
for the production side of things, it was cool. I'd done a demo of the song with a buddy of mine, Ethan Burke, and we did like this stripped down kind of like poppier version of the song, which is really cool. We made this demo back and forth, and it kind of like brought the song to life, and that's when I kind of realized that was a song that I wanted to cut. And I then took it to my producers, Spencer Cheen and Justin Cutting.
To me, that longing sound really comes, you need to have equal parts aggression and heaviness, but then with the mystical kind of airy sounding textures in the background. And the combination of those two is what I feel gives you that kind of vibe.
They had some totally different ideas of how they wanted to approach it. I had a bunch of reference tracks, a few Kip Moore tunes, a few Eric Church tunes that were kind of like anthemic sounding. They'd kind of reference some like big tom fills in them that sounds like you're going to play it in a stadium. Maybe we'll play it in stadiums.
All of Devin's references tend to be artists who very much have their own identity and whose music works hand in hand with that identity. It's nothing that's chasing radio, chasing what's popular. I wouldn't say that any of his references dictated the exact sounds that we needed to use, but what they did dictate was the spirit that we needed to capture.
It was a weird process tracking it because we were in quarantine and we couldn't actually all get together in the studio and record as a group like we typically do.
Obviously, it's a little tricky because none of us were in the same room ever, I don't think.
We definitely maxed out our use of technology in order to pull this off.
A lot of Zoom and frustrating FaceTime glitches, technical difficulties.
At one point, We had one device set up for a Zoom call so we could see each other, and then we had some software running on the computer.
It was a weird dynamic. It was definitely a lot different than any way I've ever recorded before.
Recording the vocals, I remember that was a big one because we couldn't get it to work.
And things didn't always work perfectly in sync with each other. But at the end of the day, Devin's little blanket fort that he set up in his basement around his microphone ended up working really, really well and allowed us to get everything we needed.
I don't think that changed the outcome of the final product because I think we were all on board with how we wanted it to sound.
I guess it just goes to show that no matter the circumstance, when the artist is in and believes in the message of the song, he can still deliver a world-class performance, because that's exactly what Devin did with this.
Now to me the last time last